But I mean, again, he doesn't know who Gabriel is, right? Because he didn't come from an Abrahamic faith. The people of Mecca were pagan.
The Quran is mentioned, if this book was from other than God, they would have found in it many contradictions.
If a book is without contradictions, that has no bearing on whether it comes from God or not. I've had phone books that are inerrant, but I certainly don't think God gave them.
That we believe without understanding.
The brother asked a very important question, that most of the scholars say that listening to music, watching movies, and most of the television programs, they're haram. So how can we have fun? Let me tell you, brother, at the outset, that having fun is permitted in Islam as long as the fun is halal fun.
That the standard narrative has holes in it.
The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their ears.
I really do think Jesus was crucified and that he really was dead and buried. He thought that he was a son of God in the sense that he was specially chosen by God. I think Jesus really did think he was going to be the Messiah, the future king of Israel. I mean, that is, after all, why they crucified him.
Hello everyone, and peace of Christ all of you. Please invite your friends and let us have some good time together. Our topic today is about the name which is appearing in the Old Testament, where we cannot find it anywhere in the book of the Mohammedan. And remember, the Mohammedan, they claim that they have the same God. Muhammad is a person who hijacked every religion, every belief, not only Judaism and Christianity. He hijacked the Sabian, he hijacked the fire worshippers, the Buddhists, the Hindus. He took a lot of religion from many people. Or let us say his religion is a cocktail of many religions. But before we start, the Muslims are really so desperate to prove to us that Jesus is not God and Muhammad is God. And just to show you an example of how desperate those people are, this is a person, he called himself Sam. And, he is posting all over. I mean, this guy, he posts like 50 comments. They are articles. They are not even like, he's not like writing, He go copy, paste. And if you see his comment, this man, he is trying to prove to you that Muhammad is a prophet. And I find it very funny and very weird that the Muslims they cannot find their prophet to be prophet in their book, and they try to make him a prophet in our book, or You see, the word prophet means somebody he prophesy. And the Bible, the Old Testament, says clearly a prophet should prophesy in the name of the true God. Not only he prophesy, and his prophecy have to come to be true. And Muhammad failed in both. As an example, Muhammad, he looked at a child and he told him, before this child became old, judgment day will come. Muhammad, he said, the sun is split, the moon is split asunder, and judgment day is near. Never happened. Muhammad, he claimed that he saw a whole of Gog and Magog wall, and they are coming out soon. Muhammad claimed that there is no plague or any disease, pandemic can enter the city of Mecca and Medina. And then we find tens of thousands of Muslims die in the same cities and around cities too. So a prophet is not a person, call him a prophet, and that's it, you attach a title to him, but it's somebody he can do, what a prophet can do. I mean, the man, he think that women have a sperm coming from her ribs, and he think that the man have a sperm coming from his backbone. So, being desperate as a Muslim is something I understand very well. You are bankrupt, literally, And you could not prove to the Christians and to the Jews that Muhammad is a prophet. So you said to yourself, let us go. Maybe we can find someone we can say he is a prophet. And you know, if you ask yourself, when the Muslim, they quote for us a verse, why didn't quote the whole chapter? I mean, why like 18:18? What's wrong with 18:17? You know? Is 18:16 valid? What about 18:1? You know, I mean, those people are really so desperate. And by the way, never trust what they post for you, because they can change the translation, they can change words, they can add words, they can replace words. They did that to their Quran. The Muslim, they claim that their Quran came in 7 ways. So the Muslim, he have 7 lies about his book. Right? So when a Muslim, he come to you and he try to find you, or to find a place for Muhammad, why you don't quote for us the book you are quoting? Isn't it in the same chapter is talking about the people of Israel? Why you don't show the people chapter 18, verse number 9? Why you don't want to show that? Why you don't show us that your prophet who teach magic, his God teach magic, this is against the Bible in the same chapter? And the funny is that those people are so stupid that they are quoting for us verses speaking about false gods or false prophets. As an example, they say Muhammad is, is illiterate, and the Old Testament speak about illiterate. But that one is speaking about illiterate, who they are the hypocrite, the priest, who they claim that they do not understand. And then, you know, the Muslim, they went all over the chapter, and they found Muhammad there, and it says, I will raise up from them. You see the word when? Them? Them who? Who is them? Muslims, when you say them, what them? Who is them? No dignity, no honesty, and why they will have any when they are following Muhammad. If we go and read in the Bible, you will see that one of your brother will be a prophet for you. Is Muhammad is from the Jews? Suddenly Muhammad became a Jew? He is born of a Jewish family too? This is 18:18. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and I will put my words in his mouth. Your prophet Muhammad never received words from the mouth of Allah. He received it from the mouth of Jibreel, according to him. And he shall speak into them, and all that I shall command him. Muhammad, even he make his own command, and even the Quran have a chapters about it called chapter of At-Tahrim. So he promised his wives not to sleep with the slaves anymore after they got him busted, because he was doing it in the bed of the wives, not because he was sleeping with the slave, you know, but because he's a hypocrite and he feared their fathers. So he promised them not to do it anymore. And then second day he claimed that Allah gave him a chapter saying, well, you forbid yourself what I did not forbid to you. So as you see here, this prophet is a man who, you know, or a person who don't go against God will, is a person who do God will. And then if we, you know, if we read, you will see that this person, he speak in the name of the God of the Jews. And actually this is our topic today. In the name of the God of the Jews. If we go to the Quran, and we try to find what was the name of the God of the Jews according to Islam. And then we will go and we will see what the book says about the God of the Jews. Let us read together. In chapter 28, verse number 30, and this is supposedly a story about Moses, and as usual, Muhammad, he is a thief. He steals things, have nothing to do with him, and that's why he, he's messed up as usual. So when he reached the fire, he was called from the right side of the valley, in the blessed place from the tree. O Moses, verily I am Allah. Here we notice right away and immediately that Muhammad is a fraud. If Muhammad, he really worshipped the same God of Moses, why we don't find the God of Moses speaking there? Nowhere we can find in the stories of Moses that when God, he met Moses, he said to him, I am Allah. He did not say that word. He never mentioned that word, not even once. So how Yahweh become Allah? There's a potato. His name is Daniel. I don't know if you saw him before. He had a debate with David Wood before. This guy is very sneaky, but he's very stupid, the same as the rest of them. He said that the Jews, they borrow a name of a foreign god, pagan god, and that is Yahweh. A smart Abdul. The first question we ask ourselves, why the Jews don't want to change the name? I mean, if Allah is the name, why a book written long before Muhammad was born, long before Quran came to existence, if it was ever exist? Why the Jews will change the name? I mean, have you ever heard of people changing what God said? Changing the name, what for? I mean, what that will do to them? If we go and read every single scriptures in the old languages, we will find all of them, they agree about the name or the word Yahweh's. Not a single one come with even clothed with the word Allah. And here right away we will see that what the Old Testament says about false prophet is true. False prophet, they come and prophesy in the name of a false god. They change. They have different God, not the same God. And they give false prophecies. And both go perfectly with Muhammad doing. When a Muslim, he try his best to cover up a thief story, this is Muhammad's story, the thief. But this guy, Muhammad, he is so stupid to the point, he forgot, at least if you want to tell them that you worship the same God of the Jews, what about you have the name? And when a Muhammadan, he's so stupid, he says that Yahweh is a fake name, it's not really the name of the God of the Jews. And then we ask them, what is the name of a prophet Yahya mean? What Yahya mean? Yahya is part of the name of Yahweh. I mean, do you see how stupid they are? Hey Muslims, what Yahya mean? Any Muslim can tell us. The word in Arabic, the Muhammadan they use, is Yahya, which is John. Where you got this word name? What is it? What Yahya mean? Any Muslim can tell us? Any Abdul in the chat? Let us go here so we can laugh more. You know, when this God he speak, everything we find in the Quran is a clear evidence that the one who wrote the Quran is a pure idiot. And when he tried to steal, he did not know what he's talking about. He need to go to school at least. You know, what about Muhammad? Go to a Jewish rabbi, you know, study for kids, and learn from them a little bit better, so you can, you can come with a better conclusion, better than Mary is the sister of Aaron, and Mary, her father is Umran, and that is the father of Moses. If we go in the Quran, as an example, in chapter 19, let us go. And you know, as usual, the Quran is not a book like you can find one story in one place. You will find the stories in everywhere. This is chapter number 19, verse number 7. So the angels, they came to Zechariah, and they told him, we are giving you glad tidings of a birth of a son. His name is John. Who is a Muslim can tell me where the word John is coming from? Any Muslim can tell me what John mean? What John? Any Muhammadan? I don't see any Muhammadan. Any Muhammadan here? Who is a Muslim can help us? And remember, actually the Quran doesn't say John. In Arabic it says Yahya. And that is even make it more horrible to the Muslims. It is irrelevant for salvation. Well, it's irrelevant to have you here. You are just a kid. Why you came back? We ban you, you come back, you're a potato. It's irrelevant for salvation. It's irrelevant. And we are not talking about salvation now. We are talking about the stupidity of your prophet. It's irrelevant for salvation. I mean, you know. Hey, Muslims, what Yahya mean? What Yahya mean? You see, when you're a prophet who is a false prophet, he stole names. Not only he got himself busted, he screwed his God. I mean, you stupid, at least he changed the name. Like, you change the name of, Yeshua, you make it Isa. Okay, we will let it go. Do the same for Yahya. So now if we ask the Muhammadan, and I have a challenge for all of you Muhammadan, where is the word Yahya coming from? What Yahya mean? Anyone? I will give the Muslims the chance to think, to search Google, Prophet Google, peace be upon him, and to come to me with an answer, because this is a disaster. The names which exist in the Quran, which is a theft, exposing the falsehood of Muhammad. All names belong to Yahweh. Even the angels which the Muslim they use, you ask the Muslim what Jibreel mean, what does that mean? Didn't know. Which is Gabriel supposedly. What Mikael mean? Didn't know. What Israel mean? Didn't know. Israfil mean? Didn't know. Ishmael mean? What? Didn't know. Okay, what Ibrahim mean? Didn't know. All the names in the Old Testament is nothing but an expose to the stupidity of Muhammad. Any Muslim have an objection? Any Muslim have an objection? Look like Muslims, they agree. Oh, Lord have mercy. Muslims, what Mary mean? What Musa's mean? So your stupid prophet, when he start gathering names and he start adding them in the Quran, he exposed himself and he made it clear that the true God, his name is Yahweh. For if his name is not Yahweh, then how you explain to me those names? Any Muslim here? I'm waiting for a hero, hoping that the hero will appear sooner or later. Anyone? Every name in the Bible, actually, it got a name exactly, and it is, it's a very, it's like, it's not the name, right? I mean, all the names they have a meaning, very deep meaning. Anyone? What Zechariah mean? Look, things are getting more complicated. Do you know what Zechariah mean? Even this name got you busted. Muslims, what Zechariah mean? Is that coming from the name of the God of the Jews too? Huh? I mean, do you see the stupidity of this religion? Do you see the lust you see that when you pronounce it, it says Zakaraya. In Arabic, actually, there is the ya exists. In here, it's in English, so it's ya, like I-A-H. This is from Yahweh. I mean, what's wrong with you Muslims? Zakara, Yah. Yahweh remembers. I mean, do you see the stupidity and how this man Muhammad, he got himself busted? So we search the whole Quran, we cannot find a story makes sense about anything. Then the stupid Muhammad, he changed the name of the God of Moses, and from Yahweh suddenly it become Allah. But Muhammad, he forgot to change the names of the rest of the actors in the movie. This is what happened when you have a kid who claimed to be a prophet, but this kid is just, you know, I call him a kid because he's still a kid, you know. Even like this guy is 54 years old, and yet he want to have a wife, she is 6. Obviously, he's just a kid. He is sick in his mind. He is mentally stupid. He believes in stupid stuff. You know, like if you want to enter, you know, the Muslims, they are screwing us about Jesus. Why Jesus cannot be God? Why Muslims? Because he prayed to the Father. Your God, he pray. Your Allah, he prayed to who? When you see, you stupid Abdul, when you say he prayed to the Father, you just answer yourself. It is the Father. The Son is speaking to the Father. But when Allah in the Quran, he prayed to who? To his Father? So the Muhammadan, they are so excited trying to find a way to make you not to believe that Jesus is God. And look what we are talking about. We are discussing if Jesus is God or not because he's so good. Not to be true. He is so good for his God. This is true. Jesus is so good. The Quran in the same chapter, chapter 19, it says clearly that Jesus, the son of Mary, is a holy son. He is holy, Muhammad is not. And he is holy son of who? And Jesus is a gift coming from the sky. To who? To mankind. Not to Mary. And the proof in front of you. He is a gift from mankind to the point that the angels coming to announce a holy son who has no father. When we ask the Muhammadan, why Jesus don't have father? He will go, Yahya, he have a father. Musa have a father. The Muslim, they will say to you, oh, the Quran answered that. The Quran says that he is the same as Adam. That is a stupid answer. Adam is not born to have a father, you idiot. So how he will have father anyway? He's made from mud. Jesus is born. So according to Islam, the only one, the only person in the world, in the universe who is born, yet he has no father, it is Jesus. He is a gift from God, that is Jesus. And he is a holy gift, that is Jesus, and he is a holy son. And you will see that Mary, she made it so clear how I can have a son when no man has touched me. And this remind me of a stupid guy, the Muslim, they go around and they post his videos. His name is Toriva Singer. He claimed to be a Jewish rabbi. He said, the Christian, they say that Jesus is, he is born from virgin. But, the Bible, it says, doesn't say virgin, it says that it's going to be born from young women. I mean, have you ever heard of a sign that a young woman, she will give birth? All young women, they give birth. Actually, this is the time for them to give birth, not when they are old. The miracle will be when they are old, not when they are young. So if it's a young girl, that will not make it a miracle, because all young girls can give birth. And it have to be miraculous, that nobody can have it and nobody have it before. And that is the virgin birth. So this Tariq singer, which the Muslim, they, he fool Muslims, they like him because he attacked Christianity, and he is a hypocrite to Islam. He don't attack Muhammad, but he did. You see, this guy, he screwed Islam without saying it. He's like a snake. So he said that the birth of Jesus is coming from the Greek mythology. But as you see, if this is true, and the video is there, I made a video about it, so everybody can laugh at him. Not a single Muslim say to him, shame on you, you are just insulting our prophet. You just said that Muhammad is copying a Greek mythology. Why? Because both of them, they are hypocrite. You see, hypocrite, they match. Go to hypocrite.com, post your profile. So the question to the Muslims, as you say, we have in front of you, from your silly book, a clear proof that the name of the true God is the one who is Zechariah was called by, and Yahya was called by, not Allah. So you Muslims are worshipping a false God, literally. Any Muslim want to debunk that? Why his name is Zechariah? And he is a great man. Is he getting a name of a fake God in his name? Why his name is Yohanna or Yahya, which is John? Is that because his name is attached to a fake God, pagan God? Why Zechariah is not Zakir Allah? Any Muslim? Nobody? So if we go with the Muslim they were posting for us in their comment here, they are trying to make this chapter about Muhammad. It says clearly that this prophet will speak in my name. And your prophet, he spoke in the name of Allah, not in the name of the God of Zechariah, Yahweh, and the name of the God of Yahya, not Allah. Do you see how desperate you Muhammadan are? And do you see how silly your prophet is? And then he says, my Christian brothers, and here you see another form of hypocrisy. A Muslim is not allowed to take Christians and Jews as friends. How about calling them brothers? Coward, liar. Let us convert to Islam, Christian brothers. Okay, I will convert to Islam, but I have a problem. I fear that the God of Islam will make my penis English. I don't like it that big. Can you give me the phone number of Allah so we can negotiate the size? You know, when you invite some people to convert to Islam, shouldn't first you have a religion? I mean, what is Islam? There's a God, his name is Allah, you bow down for him, and if you kill some Christian, you kill some Jews, you kill some Hindus, God will make your penis so big, and he will make the women vagina fit for that. Let us go to Vegas. Your God is a pimp. You see, do you see how Islam made the life of Muslim better? Muslims, They enjoy their life very much in Islamic countries, to the point 100,000 Afghani in less than 2 hours were in the airport, and there's 100,000 more. They want to jump, go to USA. Millions. Let us convert to Islam. Half of Pakistan already in England. Why don't enjoy Islam in your country? And then he says, how can who claim to be God, who say the phrase Ili Ili lama shabaktani, another proof that Allah is a fraud? If Jesus says Ili, why Allah never call himself Ili? Any Muslim can tell us? When Jesus, he quote that, he is quoting the Old Testament, speaking about him will be crucified, about an innocent person who commit no crime, who will be crucified, and speak in details about what will happen to him in the cross. This is what Jesus is quoting. But when you quote that again, the words in the Hebrew exposing your false religion, let us go and find Il in the religion of Islam. If we go and we find names, Ishmael. Don't ask the Muslims what the name of Ishmael mean, because they have no idea. Their prophet did not know. So why they will know? If we ask the Muslims why the end of the name end with Il, Ishmael, Mikael, Israel, why the name of Jacob became Israel? What Israel mean? Do you see the end? If we ask Muslims, if Allah, his book was always in Arabic, why he is delivering different words to the Jews? Why Ishmael, this man Ishmael belong to Il? He don't belong to Allah. Why Israel belong to Il? Mikael, Gabriel, Israel, Israfil, there's tons of names. Muhammad, he stole from some from holy books and some from books of culture. What Isaac mean? Hey Muslim, what Isaac mean? I mean, all those names, they will make your prophet shish kebab. Every single word of them is a disaster for Muhammad. Proving to us that the prophets of the Old Testament have nothing to do with all the religion and the garbage of Muhammad. Do we have any Muhammadan have any comment? Any Muslim? If those prophets, they belong to Allah, then their name should end with La, the name of their God. La. Why Allah he choose the name of the most important angel to be Gabriel, Il? Any Muslim can tell us? Shouldn't be Gabriel Allah? So you will notice right away that the names, which is a theft stolen in the Quran, proving Muhammad to be a fraud, for those names worshipped the God of Moses. If Muhammad was a true prophet, and the Bible is a changed, and maybe the Jews, they changed the name, why the stupid Muhammad is copying the names, which is speaking of the God, of the true God of the Jews then? Any Muhammadan? Any Muslim have anything to say? So instead of posting comment, desperate comment to make Muhammad a prophet, well, you see, you have your book who make Muhammad a prophet already, and he made the sun set in a muddy spring. I mean, how in the world we can agree or disagree he's prophet or not? What is the problem with it? With if you can say God is a great while referring to Allah? What is talking about? Ahmed, what are you talking? Who's talking about if Allah is a great or not now? This is not the topic. I mean, you know, sometimes I ask myself, Muslims, what they use when they drink water or they drink detergent? I think Ahmed is drinking detergent, so his brain is so clean. We are talking, saying, why your God using the name which belong to the God of the Jews, yet it is not one of his 99 names. Your God, Allah, have 99 names, remember. None of them is Yahweh. So how Yahya become a Muslim prophet? If his name, proving that he worship a God, his name is Yahweh. Did you get the point, Ahmed? Or still it's not working? Don't drink detergent. It's already washed out. I look in eBay for Muslim brain. It was the most expensive. I contacted the seller. I said, why? He said, it's never been used. Brand new. 0 mileage. A Jewish brain is very tired. Christian brain is exhausted. I will get you a Muslim brain, never been used, never been opened, never been touched. Still in the wax. I said, that makes sense. Never been used. Must be expensive. I mean, come on, you buy a used car the same as a brand new car? It's not the same. They never use it. I mean, his name is Ishmael and he is praising Allah. How does that work for you? If he is Ishmael, he is praising Yahweh. He is praising El, the God of the Jews. I mean, look at the name. How he praised Allah and his name is Ishmael. It's like, you know, a guy, his name, let's make it simple. His name is Isma Buddha. Isma Buddha. Huh? And Isma Buddha is praising Allah. Like, what the heck? How his name is worshiping Buddha, and yet he is saying all praise be to Allah. Brand new brain. Are you listening? I'm going to open my Skype just for Ahmed, so he can call me. Do you like to call me, Ahmed? I like to learn from your brand new brain. My brain is tired, man. You're lucky. I'm logging into my Skype. Yesterday we spoke to Ahmed, if you remember, and Ahmed, he did not see the problem with his God saying that the sperm became a dead blood. I mean, not only they got everything wrong with the names, even their God, he is special in science. Let us call Ahmed. Ahmed, he declined my call. Look like Ahmed, he is convinced already that the sperm comes from the backbone. I know I was always asking myself where the sperm is coming from. I mean, come on, I don't have money in my pocket, yet there's a sperm. I don't have gas in my car, yet I have a sperm. Subhanallah. It have to be coming from somewhere, cannot be broken. And then after I check the science of a prophet of Allah, who is the best in biology. He is the best in biology, geology, embryology, any OG. He is the best in everything. I found that all the sperm is coming from the backbone. And then I remember the famous song which says, backbone, backbone, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when I come for you? Backbone, backbone. How we can ignore the Muslim trying to find us prophet? Yes, Ahmed.
Hello?
Yes, Ahmed. How are you doing?
I'm good. Sorry, I declined because my parents were asleep, so I couldn't, you know.
Oh, I love to call people when they are asleep. You know, when my dad, he said to me, I said to him, buy me a drum. He said, if you buy me a drum, if I buy you a drum, you promise me you will not bother me? He said, I promise you, I will only play when you are asleep. So what do you think, Ahmed?
Yeah. So, first of all, I just want to apologize about yesterday, before yesterday, not too sure. I was being pretty stubborn. I
Yeah.
wasn't listening.
All right. So do you understand what I was saying to you, or you still did not understand?
Yeah. No, you did say some things that were right.
Okay.
I did some research. What was the thing? What did we discuss?
We discuss. You see, I just said it's a brand new in your brain. Ahmed, you forgot what we discussed, and you are apologizing about what we discussed.
No, I can't remember exactly, but I did research.
Okay, we discussed everything about your prophet, from being a prophet, for saying stupid things like how the baby is made. I mean, there's tons of issues. So which one you are apologizing about?
I can't remember, to be honest. Oh yeah, I remember. It's the last thing when you ended the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was.
You know, you remind me of a prophet Mohammed. He was asleep, he woke up, and then he went and he ran and he ran and he ran and he ran and he ran. They said to him, Prophet, what's up? He said, I just found out when I received the Quran first time. Yeah, I said, okay, Prophet, tell us when. He said, I forgot. I mean, have you ever heard of a person, he just received the date exactly from Allah, and then he went out of his house and he was so excited to tell the people about the day, because the Muslim until now did not know the date, and when he arrived to the people and he was breathing heavily, he forgot. What do you think about your prophet, Ahmed?
It's a lot like me right now.
Sound like you.
Just coming to
apologize. Subhanallah. Your name is Ahmed. His name is Ahmed. Both of you are prophet. That's it. We got you a job. So, by the way, Ahmed, your prophet name is Ahmed or Muhammad?
I think he had like 3 names, right? He's Mustafa, Ahmed, and Muhammad.
You know, when I was in school, I got all the names. Like the principal, he called me troublemaker. The teacher, she called me, don't talk to me. I don't talk to me, you know. I don't talk to me, you know. So I mean, I have many names, and but none of them is Muhammad. But what is the name of your prophet? I'm asking you. Is he Muhammad or Ahmad? I don't care if you have 3 or 4 or 5. Why this guy have tons of names? When his mother, she gave birth to him, what she called him?
I think I don't know.
That is a new name. I don't know.
No, I'm saying I don't know. I'm not saying that's his name.
Look, I'm getting dizzy now. No. I don't know. I'm not saying. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm more confused general, now. After the explanation, it's more confusing. So what? Why his name is? If you go in the Quran, Muhammad, he says that the prophet Isa, we do not know who's Isa. Allah knows best. He said that a prophet will come after me. His name is Ahmed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is he Ahmed or Muhammad?
I would say it's him. Yeah, no, it's him.
It's him.
You can have just the same way. Allah has 99 names. You can have more than one name to one person.
Actually, guess what? Muhammad, he have 99 names too. Is that true?
I don't think so. No.
Are you sure?
I mean, yeah. I think I
never heard of that. You want to bet that the bet is haram?
Huh?
You want to bet that the betting is haram?
Betting, yeah, it's haram.
You want to bet that it's haram?
What are you saying? Show me.
I just said to you, your prophet, he have 99 names. You said, I don't think so. What do you mean, I don't think so? Are you sure or you do not know?
No, he definitely doesn't. That's not true.
Definitely. Why definitely? That because we make him God, right?
No, because he said he didn't have. He didn't say he had 99 names.
Okay. Well, here we go. This is your Muslim website. It says the 99 names of a prophet Muhammad. Have fun. Do you see it?
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I don't see it yet.
Say some magic word, that will make it like, say shabu shabu.
99 names of prophet. Connection 99 names. This is, what is this?
There's the names of your prophet.
Yeah, but what is this website?
This is a Muslim website.
Yeah, but not all websites are right.
You can search right now 99 names of Prophet Muhammad and choose the site you like. Who cares? But those are the Muslims believe that Muhammad, he have 99 names. So Allah have 99 names, Muhammad, he have 99 names, and he share many names with them. Actually, Muhammad itself mean what?
Praised one.
Praised one. So Muhammad is God. Because if Muhammad is the praised one, who is Allah?
The Most High.
Allah is the Most High?
Yeah.
Is he praised one or he praised? Is Allah praised one or praised two?
No. If I give you praise, doesn't mean you are God.
Who praised Muhammad? Who praised him?
Everyone.
Including Allah?
Yeah.
How Allah he praised Muhammad? Who is the God of who?
Why would you say that? It's obvious.
It's obvious. If I praise God, but God don't praise me. I mean, I'm nobody. I'm a man. I'm a human. So why God will praise me if I am just a man?
He's the messenger of God. He's a special
So what
person.
if he's a messenger of God? Still he is a man like everybody. So what if he is, do the Jews, they praise Moses and they say they praise one? The Christian, they praise Jesus because they believe he's God. So we say praise Jesus. Why? Because we believe he's God. So when you Muslims, you praise Muhammad, you worship Muhammad.
No, that's not true.
Not true. Okay. Do Allah pray on Muhammad? Do Allah pray on Muhammad?
No, I've heard of this before. He doesn't pray like to him. He prays on him, and in Arabic is different. That's not.
He pray on him. That's a good point there.
Yeah.
Ahmed,
you know what?
Ahmed, I'm going to hire you to work as a teacher in a Afghan Taliban school because your answers are very convincing. So Allah, he pray on him. not for him.
It sounds wrong in English, but in Arabic, I'm pretty sure.
But do you speak Arabic?
No.
So how you say it sound right in Arabic when you never know Arabic?
No, because that's what they tell me.
People, my friend. Okay, I will tell you something. Walk, walk, bark, bark.
Okay.
Okay, do you agree?
No, people who are, trustworthy.
How they can be trustworthy? Why they are trustworthy?
Because other Arabs, they don't, refute them.
Isn't it the Arab they killed your prophet grandsons and his families? Isn't it the Arab and the Muslim they killed the caliphate?
Talking about the Shia.
Isn't it Aisha? No, those are Sunni. Isn't it Aisha? She took an army to kill Ali. Isn't it?
No, that's you don't look. That's not the whole story. There's more to it.
This is not the whole story. Let's focus together. It says here, "Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi." What does that mean? Allah and His angels. You said Allah and His angels they pray on Muhammad, not for Muhammad. Correct?
The meaning of that from the tafsir means they praise him or they.
Okay, I want you to focus with me.
Huh?
I want you to focus with me. According to the verse, we have the following situation.
Look, if it said pray, he would have said Yusalluna.
Focus with me. So we have the following situation. This is your prophet Muhammad in the middle, and we will make him blue because he is a heavenly man. Blue. This is Muhammad. Letter M. And now we have Allah here. Allah.
Oh yeah, also just before you start,
no, wait. And here we have the angels. Let us draw the angels. Those are the angels. Those are their wings. Those are Islamic angels. They look different. And here we have the believers. So here we have Osama bin Laden.
No, that guy's
the guy. Yeah, you know the thing.
He's not Muslim.
Okay, not a Muslim. So now we have Allah. We have the angels. We have the Muslims. All of them, they are doing one thing, which is praising Muhammad, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, they are praising Muhammad to who?
What do you mean to who? He just there's no to who.
Let's say I am a manager in a company and you work for me, but I am the manager, but there's a higher. There's somebody who owns the company, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm going to praise you now, and I'm going to send an email to the boss, the big boss, says to him, I praise this guy for his good job. Do you agree?
Okay.
So Allah is included in that. Allah is writing the email, and the angels and the believers, and they are sending email praising Muhammad. Sending email to who?
To everyone.
What do you mean to everyone? You see, I just told you, I am a manager, you work for me. I'm going to send email to the big boss that Ahmed, he is very good. I'm going to praise your work. So I'm going to send an email to the owner of the company, so he can hire you, give you a better job, increase your salary, your position. So
that's how it is, though. No.
What no?
That's you're forcing a situation. They're praising him because he's the messenger, because he's doing.
So what if he's a messenger, my friend? This is Allah. This is Allah. Allah.
He's saying him basically.
Listen. Okay, he is a messenger. Your messenger, they are praising him because he have a wife. She is 6 years old, and because he went to his own son and he flirted with the wife when the husband is not there, and he took her and then he slept with her, and they are praising him. They are praising him because the Muslim, they accuse him that he stole an underwear. Is that correct?
That's not true.
What if I show you the proof?
Go ahead. It's not true.
What if it's true? What you will do?
What do you mean? What if true? What if Christianity
let
false,
us
like
let us talk first about underwear. Is underwear something special in Islam?
no?
So why a prophet wouldn't steal it?
Why are you saying these things? Can we just focus on the things that you came
We
here
are
for?
focusing on the thing because you are praising a man who was accused by his followers that he stole underwear.
I don't know. Just it's Ismail.
Don't tell me I don't know. You don't know. I know. Listen.
God is great.
Listen, you don't know. You don't know. I know. Chapter 3, verse 161. Open it. And you are the one who said to me the trustworthy. Open the trustworthy, your scholars, anyone you choose, and tell me what this story is about. It is the Muslims accusing the Prophet that he took an underwear. It was read, by the way.
Which verse?
Chapter 3, verse number 161. I call it the underwear chapter. But in fact, it's called Al Imran. I don't know even what this have to do with Al Imran. I mean, this Quran is really stupid mental. The chapter name is about the families of Musa's, and then the story of the panty is missing is there. What this have to do with Musa's? What this have to do with Jesus? What this have to do with Yahya? A guy was accused that he took a panty. Why it's even in the book of God?
That doesn't say that. I don't know where you're getting the underwear from.
Tell me what this says. It says he took something illegally, correct? They accuse him to be a thief.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Who is the one who accused the Prophet to be a thief?
The Sahaba, but they don't know. That's what they assumed.
Who assumed?
The Sahaba.
Exactly. Can you believe that the disciple of Muhammad, they accused their boss that he is a thief?
They didn't accuse, they thought. They had to check. They went to check.
When you say they thought, that means they are saying he is a thief. What thought? I read the text on this. Listen. I thought that you are a thief, Ahmed. I thought. What do you mean you with? Why this thought come to their head? Why a man who is everybody praising him, as you said, Allah praise him, angels praise him, everybody praise him, the whole world is busy with him, and now suddenly he is a person who is accused by his own followers, his companions, that he took a panty from the drawer of a Jew. And by the way, what they are fighting about is about the clothing they stole from the Jews.
How do you know that?
Well, the stories, some Muslims they say from Quraysh, some Muslims they say from the Jews, but it says here, it says booty. Do you see the word booty?
Yeah, okay. Booty is just from the war.
Do you know the song that says shake your booty?
Check the tafsir. That's not true. You're not saying it.
Check the tafsir. Okay, I will go and check the tafsir. Let us check the booty tafsir. Chapter 3, verse number. Okay, hold on. This is the tafsir, and now you will say to me, I don't accept the tafsir. Let us see.
You're gonna show me like Shia Ibn Kathir or something. Obviously, I'm not gonna.
Ibn Kathir is Shia?
No, I'm saying it like a Shia version of him.
Shia version of him. There's Shia version of him. This is Tafsir al-Jalalain. Do you know Jalalain? He's a Sunni, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It says here, when some red velvet cloth went missing in the day of Badr, and some people began to say perhaps the Prophet took it. The following verse revealed, it's not for a prophet to be a thief, Yagul. Is that true?
Okay.
Have you ever heard of a God? He makes such a verse?
What's the issue?
I will tell you what the issue. You see, I have my cousin, his name is Detective Columbus. When you arrive to the door, he say one thing, So I have one thing to ask you. If the one is talking is Allah, and the Prophet was being accused that he stole an underwear, shouldn't Allah tell us who took it, and that will make Allah God? Or what he said, he did not took it. I mean, what kind of God this God is? Isn't it Allah is the one who knows everything? What about Allah? He says to them, somebody took it because somebody took it. It was there. So this God, why he don't tell us who is the one who took the panty? If it is not Muhammad, the guy is leaving to the door. Detective Columbus, he said one thing. I just have a question, one thing. Why God, Allah, did not tell you who is the one who took the panty? Isn't he all-knowing? So now it is time for Allah to practice his skills, his power. The Prophet himself is being accused that he steals panties, maybe to sniff them. You know, some people, they have a habit to sniff panties of women. So when the Prophet was accused by his own followers, that, you know, tell us many things, that his followers are a bunch of a scumbag. Because what kind of a followers they accuse their Prophet? This is not the enemy. This is not the Jews or the Christians. This is the one who are with him, the most close ones, the ones who became a caliphate later. How they accuse their Prophet of a theft, and why Allah did not tell who is the one who took it. Go ahead, Ahmed.
Why would he need to tell? All he needs to say is that he didn't take it.
Because they accuse Muhammad to be a thief. You see?
Yeah, and
listen, Ahmed, listen. If I have, let us say, I have a security camera in your home, and I saw a cat coming and stealing the fish, and then your mom, with my respect to her, she came and she said, Ahmed, shame on you. You took the fish. But I saw that that's not true. So isn't it my duty to say it was the cat, not Ahmed?
You don't need to. No, he's infallible.
Why? What infallible? Guys, he's infallible. My friend, your Prophet, he have a flat tire all the time. What infallible? Listen, he is a flammable. So he is being accused of his theft. Why Allah don't show his power? Listen. Jesus in the Quran, he can tell you what you hide in your houses. He can tell you even what you ate. Now, the Prophet, he been accused that he took a panty. Why this God, all what he said, it is not Muhammad who took it. That is a proof actually that Muhammad is the one who took it. Because if it's somebody else, then Allah will say, go to the house of this guy, go under the pillow, move the pillow, and you will find the panty. And then takbir. So look what happened now. This verse confirmed that the one who stole the panty is Muhammad.
Okay, well, you know Surah Al-Baqarah? You know the story of it?
You know what Baqarah mean?
Yeah, when they chopped the cow and they threw the cow onto the dead
what the Baqarah mean?
The cow.
It means the cow. What kind of religion they call a verse in the Quran, chapter in the Quran, cow?
No issue. There's no issue. No, nothing to be ashamed of.
So you Muslims are like not originally Hindus or something?
No.
You don't believe in cows, don't you?
Because there's also the sorts of the spider, and there's other things. Not just cow.
So do your God use the power of the God of the Hindu to resurrect people from death?
Why would you say that?
You are the one who mentioned the cow. Is it true that
the story? When they cut up the cow and they threw it on the dead person to tell who killed him. If Allah wants
how you bring a person from death in Islam, from death he was killed, right? How Allah he brings somebody from death?
I told you. They cut up the cow and they threw the pieces of meat onto the person that is dead.
They give the person piece of meat?
Yeah.
They give him piece of the guy is dead.
They put it on his dead body.
They put it in his dead body. They don't beat him with it?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 2, verse number 73. It says, beat him with the meat.
Show me.
You know,
like
by the way, Ahmed, I will tell you a story, but this is between us only, like here on YouTube and etc. You know, once I was going hunting, all right, and we were hunting. Like I originally I am a cowboy, you know, and my cousin, you know, he's like from Texas, so we went hunting, and you know, by mistake, I shot my cousin and his father and his brother and his two sisters and his mom and their goat, and I do not know what to do. The police are going to look for me, and I have no idea what to do. But we have a lot of cows. So I did exactly what the Quran said. I got a cow, I slaughtered the cow, and I started beating the hell of them. And then my cousin, the first one, he came back to life. It worked. So now he started helping me and started beating his dad. It worked. He came back. And now his dad joined us. We start beating his mom. It worked. My friend, have you ever heard of a God? He resurrects people from death by beating them by cow meat? How?
What's with it?
Why? I mean, isn't it Allah is God? He said be is going to be. I mean, did Jesus beat the guy with cow or something? You know, did Jesus beat him with something? I
They
mean,
killed the cow sacrifice.
what does
And
have to
then
do with sacrifice? It's not sacrifice. He told them, go and bring a cow. Listen,
the
listen.
cow was expensive, and then they as a sacrifice to Allah,
But
they
this is
did
not a
all this.
sacrifice. What are you talking about sacrifice? This is not a sacrifice. Read with me. Here we go. He said to them, go and get a heifer cow, okay, not trained to tell the soil, water, field, blah, blah, sound, blah, 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 without blemish. And he gave him description about the cow. And then,
Yeah.
and then, okay, and then this is sacrifice to Allah, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So now in order to resurrect somebody, how Allah will resurrect? Read the verse with me. It says, and this is how Allah, He bring people to from death.
Okay.
Okay, okay, Allah He bring, this is the way Allah He bring people from death. So in the judgment day, Allah will resurrect people by beating them by beef.
Oh no, no, that's not. It's not.
Okay,
It's only just
read carefully. Read carefully. Thus Allah brings the dead to life. Do you see it?
Hold on. Wait.
It's in front of you. The same verse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the judgment day, how Allah will get all those cows and He will start beating everybody? Your God will look like a butcher. He will be
No,
full of
that's
blood.
Allah. Yeah, that's just for that case.
Okay. Listen. What case? Okay, it says thus. This is how Allah He bring the dead from to life. It says this is how He do it. So can Allah bring?
No,
can Allah?
thus-
Okay, let me ask you. What is the cow for? What is the cow for? What is the cow for?
For the sacrifice, for the ritual.
Okay. What about why we are beating the guy with it?
So then he can. That's just what Allah told them to do.
I know this is what He told them. This is why I'm trying to find out why He told. I mean, isn't it beating the guy by the cow is the way to make him come back to life?
Huh?
Isn't it beating him what make him come back to life?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they beat me and he came back to life. What's the issue?
Well, your God Allah cannot bring somebody to life unless we beat him up. Correct?
Okay.
Well, how that work? I mean, the guy is dead, and now we are beating him with beef.
Look, we don't have the wisdom or the knowledge to judge Allah. He's the one who judges,
Is that
not us.
is that called the cow, the beef wisdom?
Again, so we can't judge him.
Okay, why we cannot? I mean,
Because
where we can find this story about Moses and the Jews? Why this story is not in the Jewish book that he did beat somebody with beef?
because it's not it's corrupted.
It's corrupted. Okay, what is corrupted?
Your holy books, the Torah and
the Torah. What the word Torah mean?
It's the Old Testament, right?
You know what Torah mean? I know it's Old Testament. What Torah mean?
What Torah means?
So your Quran, he used the Quran, used the word Torah. Do Muhammad know what Torah mean?
It's probably Hebrew. Doesn't matter, because that's why I told you about God. I can say God and Allah. They're both the same thing, just different language.
No, Allah is a name. Allah is not a word mean God. Allah is a name. Correct?
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not and Allah is not a name. Allah is Allah. So the Torah is the book of guidance. Is that correct?
I don't know.
Isn't it Allah? He said, I sent the Torah as a book of guidance to Moses and law.
Yeah. Okay.
So why Allah He sent His book, and now you are saying to us that Allah book is corrupt?
No, it's just because they change a few things here and there.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Listen. What you are saying to me that your God Allah His book is corrupt.
Yeah.
How He can be God then? If anybody can give Him a finger, anyone can change the book of.
But they didn't preserve the Torah.
Can I change the book of Allah?
You can change the book that has the words of Allah on it. It's just writing.
Okay.
That's
Can I change the Quran?
the words in it. Yes, anyone can.
So the Quran is not preserved.
No, it is.
But you just said I can change it.
Look, if all the Qurans in the world were burnt, all the people can still come back and write a new one because it's all memorized.
Okay, I want you to give me the verses of a breastfeeding for adult.
What?
Your God, he gave Muhammad an order, very nice order. I wish I was alive at that time. That a woman, she have to give her breast and she have to suckle men who want to enter upon her 10 times. And this was a verse in the Quran. So can you?
That's not true. What?
Okay.
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's not true.
Ahmed, come on. Me and you, we like those things. Let us be honest here. This is your prophet, and this is hadith, this is sahih. And you will see that even Aisha, she used to order her sisters that they cannot, anyone cannot enter upon her unless he suckle the nice, beautiful nipples, may Allah bless them, of her sister Kulthum or her nieces. Do you see the hadith?
What are you saying? That there's no way that's true.
It's true, it's in front of you. I don't say anything without reference, you know me. It's in front of your eyes.
Okay.
What okay?
Where's this from? Which book?
This is all over, you know, this is, you know, the names in front of you, you know, this is Sahih Muslim, this is Sahih Muslim, this is Muwatta Malik, this is Muwatta Malik, this is Sunan Abi Dawood, this is, you know, I mean, it's all over. Okay? So now I'm asking you, as long as the Quran was preserved, how we can find those verses?
There are no verses about that.
You said the Muslims, even if you destroy the Quran, Muslim can make the Quran again.
Yeah.
One of the things that Allah the Almighty, the Sublime, revealed, one of the narrators, Al-Harisi said, one of the things revealed in the Quran was that 10 known breastfeeding make marriage forbidden. Then that was abrogated and changed to 5 known breastfeeding. Then the Messenger of Allah passed away, and when this was something that was still being recited in the Quran. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, where are they? So now we have 2 parts. One.
Oh, no, hold on. What is this? Is this hadith?
This is hadith, yes.
From who? By who?
Shakira.
Seriously, who said this?
Shakira. I mean, whatever I say to you, you will say I don't accept. This is Sunan An-Nasa'i, hadith number 3307, and it is sahih.
Yeah. But this is from someone who isn't the prophet who's saying this, right?
No, it says Aisha.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, she's not infallible.
Oh, she is not. But isn't it the Quran you receive? A second ago you told me the Muslim can recite the Quran. So they can recite the Quran, but they can't recite the hadith?
No. It's only one person that said this hadith. But if you have a lot of people to make the Quran, it's
only
easier.
One person? Do you see one person there, or you see tons of names?
Yeah, Aisha said.
No, Aisha, she said, and Abu Haris said, and Abdul Malik said, and Abdullah ibn Abi Bakr said, and Aisha. So what do you mean Aisha said? Okay.
Aisha said that.
Okay, hold on. All the hadith, it says, Aisha said, he said, they said. So what we would do now?
No, she's not infallible.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like the word infallible. Okay. So
that's the Arabic is Masoom. Yeah, Masoom.
Okay. So let me make it simple for you. Is it true that there is a verse in the Quran it's called stoning to death?
Yeah.
Where we can find it?
Hold on.
I'm holding.
I don't know where it is. Hold on.
Hmm. People are asking you, is the prophet infallible?
Yeah, of course.
So he is not perfect, right?
Infallible and perfect are different things.
Okay, but you just said to me Aisha is not accepted because she is not infallible.
Yeah.
Okay, is your prophet is what the difference if Muhammad said and Aisha she said the prophet said?
No, because she can make a mistake.
Muhammad cannot make a mistake?
Yeah, he cannot make a mistake.
Muhammad don't forget Quran?
That's not a mistake.
What do you
Mistake? No, like a sin.
mean? Oh, so Muhammad don't make sin?
No.
No, he don't. Okay. So why the Quran says he does?
Where? He doesn't.
You know, Ahmed, each time I say something to you, you say where. I show you, and then you, and then at the end, I know I will lose my, I will lose my patient, and I will hang up on you. I know where we're going. So listen. So if your prophet he commits sin, is that a proof that Muhammad is a bad person or a good person?
Everyone commits sin, but he's infallible, as in like.
So do Muhammad commit sin or not?
It doesn't matter if he makes sin.
I'm asking. No, it make matter because if he commits sin, you know, cheating is sin, lying is a sin, correct?
Okay.
Okay, so he can he lied then. If he commits sin, then he lied.
Where did he lie? Where did he lie?
This is what sin is about. What sin? Sin is you do something against God's will, correct?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and this is what sin is about. Sin is lying, cheating, you know, being hypocrite, cursing.
None of those.
Huh?
The prophet did none of those.
So what is what the sin of Muhammad?
The only one I can really think of, that's not the sin. No, he has no son. No, he has no sins.
I heard that Muhammad he used to eat candies.
He has no sins.
Okay, well I don't know. In the front of me, I have a chapter in the Quran, chapter 48, verse number 2. It says Muhammad he commits sin. What we would do now? What do you think?
Which verse?
Let me put it for you in the screen. Chapter 48, verse number 2. We have a Muslim, his name is Asif Khan. He says, Christian prince accused of sexual abuse. And you know, Muhammadan, it must be true because I was quoting your prophet. A Muslim woman, she called me and she said, Jesus was playing with his mother boobs. Your sister is a whore. So I said to her, you filthy. It's your prophet who order women to give their breast. And the Muslim, they start posting video. Christian prince, sexual predator. Coward sons of Muta. Cowards. Sexual abuse, eh? A followers of a child molester. Talking about sexual abuse. So what do you think, Ahmed? That Allah may forgive your sin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, who is this to? Hold on. Forgive sins of the past and future. Okay, hold on, let me look this up.
And you know, here we have another problem. Not only Muhammad he commits sin and he is a bad person, it says, may Allah forgive your sin. Who's talking?
Allah.
Allah is asking other Allah to forgive the sin of Muhammad?
No, he's talking about himself.
What do you mean? So Allah is saying that may Allah forgive your sin? If I am Allah, how in the world I will say that may Allah forgive your sin? I'm making a wish. Allah is making a wish. This is a wish. He's praying. So the one is talking here is praying that Allah may He forgive your sin. Who's talking? Allah. Okay, but if He is the one who's talking, why He is saying?
So no, it's not Allah who's talking. It's the Prophet. The Prophet saying that may.
It is the Prophet. That is good. So the Quran is made by the Prophet.
No.
What you just said that. You just said the one who's talking is the Prophet.
Yeah, it's the Prophet saying it.
The Prophet saying it. Okay, but who is the one who said that? Muhammad, he received Quran from Allah, right?
Yeah, and that's the way he received it.
Okay, so Allah is the one who's talking, correct?
No, yeah, he is the one that's talking, but he put it in a format that it would make sense to the people who listen.
Now it makes sense that Allah is saying, may Allah forgive you, Muhammad. I mean, do you see how it makes sense to the point you cannot answer? How it makes sense if Allah is saying, may Allah, how that will make sense if the one is speaking is Allah. And He said that in the heaven when Muhammad cannot even hear Him. So Allah, He wrote and He said, go angel and tell Muhammad this, that may Allah or Allah may forgive your sin. So Allah making a request, application, and He is sending it to different Allah, and He is asking this Allah, may you please to forgive the sin of Muhammad. And until now we do not know if He forgave his sin or not. Did He forgive his sin?
If you think about a king might say to someone, may the king forgive you. It's not uncommon at all.
The kings, they do that?
Yeah.
Excuse me, I was always a prince. I never been a king yet, so I do not know. You know, my dad, he never do those things. You know, my dad, he always chopped the heads. He never forgive anybody. You know, so like this is new. So the king, he says, may the king forgive you. The king is saying, may the king forgive you. Saying that to who? To the king?
No, what? No, he's saying basically that the king, may Allah forgive you people for your sins. What's the issue?
But this is not an issue. If I am saying that to you, if I say may God forgive you, I am making a wish because it's not in my hand.
No, Allah is saying may Allah forgive you. That's just the way He says it.
Exactly, but Allah is saying may, which means He is not sure. Is Allah sure He can forgive you or not?
No, He's sure. That's not.
So what is the word may present?
May means if. So if you sin, He may forgive you.
It says may forgive your sin in the past. What if, my friend, in the past?
Yeah.
In the past is may. If you do, it says the past. So as long as it's in the past, that means it's happened already. It's an open license for Muhammad to commit sin. It says in the past and in the future, not if. May Allah forgive your sin of the past and the future. It's a messed up open license for sin, yet Allah is not confirming if He is going to forgive or not. It says may maybe, maybe not.
No, that's not true.
This is what may, my friend. What is the word may in English mean?
No, hold on. There's multiple meanings. May, if you say may forgive you, if you don't repent, He's not going to forgive you. It's up to you. May, it just depends on the person, not on the person saying it.
But I thought everything in Islam is a destiny. You forgot?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I remember now.
Okay, so Muhammad, he will repent or not. Allah already knows if Muhammad will repent because he is the one who decides he will repent or not. So the may is not a condition because Allah made a destiny. This is funny condition.
No, that doesn't contradict.
Okay, if Allah is the one who wrote your destiny and including your sin, okay, if somebody had sex,
yeah,
okay, as an example, I know you know, I know a monkey. She believed in Allah. She committed sin, and she was stoned for her sin. When this monkey she committed sin, was she doing adultery, or it is okay because she is a monkey?
What?
A monkey, she committed adultery. She slept.
Yeah, I heard what you said, but what are you saying? That's
Okay.
stupid.
Did she commit sin because she chose to cheat in her beautiful chimpanzee husband, or because Allah wrote in the destiny that she should have sex with someone else? Was it her choice to commit such an evil sin to cheat her husband, Mr. Chimpanzee, or it was a destiny?
It was her choice.
It was
Free
her
will.
choice. Okay. So now, because it's her choice, we have to stone her, correct?
A monkey.
Yeah, a monkey, she committed adultery and she was stoned because she's a Muslim monkey. Why you are laughing? It's a hadith in front of you.
There's no way.
Say shabu shabu.
That can't be Sahih. No way.
This is Sahih Bukhari. This is Sahih Bukhari, hadith number 3849. Huh?
Yeah. So, narrated who?
Who cares? This is Sahih Bukhari. You said to me can't be Sahih.
He definitely said it, but the guy is who said this?
The guy who said that, his name is Maymoon.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and what's our business? It is Sahih Bukhari, and we know everything in Bukhari is Sahih.
Yeah, Sahih means he said that. Yeah.
It's Sahih. It happened. Is it a lie, or if
No,
is the
didn't
story is a true story? Why it is in Al Bukhari? If it is not a true, okay, hold on.
Don't
Hold on. Let us focus. Does the Quran says that all animals are Muslims?
Yeah.
Okay, so what the problem? She's a Muslim monkey, and now she's practicing Sharia, and they have a Sharia court. And she was a decent female Muslim monkey wearing a burqa, not like those monkeys you see these days in the bikini. She was wearing burqa. She's very conservative family, and now she cheated on her husband, and now the Muslim community, chimpanzee people, they decide to stone her with a coconut, by the way, not by rocks. They use coconut, you know, I was there. So listen, now I ask you about this. I said when she committed adultery, this filthy satanic monkey, shame on you, a monkey, when she did what she did behind her decent beautiful husband, did she choose or it was against her will? You said it was her will, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how you explain this hadith?
What hadith?
Another disaster.
Oh, this. Did the Rasul say this?
This one. It says, Abu Hurairah reported that Allah apostle saying, verily Allah has fixed the very portion of adultery which a man will indulge in. So Allah, He wrote for you in your destiny how much fornication you will do.
Yes, because He knows.
No, it says Allah has no. Listen. Which he have to do. You see, adultery, which a man he of necessity must commit. We must. This is not a choice.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so why the monkey she was stoned to death by coconut, and they are very hard, coconut from the Philippines, you know, why she was stoned by coconut when this monkey, this poor female monkey, she was just forced by the destiny of Allah to cheat around.
She wasn't forced by destiny. She was given free will.
How free will? Okay, hold on.
Since Allah is all-knowing, He knows.
No.
He's written for that monkey that this will happen. It doesn't.
Do you remember last time the hadith I showed you, or you have a very short memory like your prophet?
Yeah, I remember. No, I remember. Okay. You were right. You said.
So what Allah wrote for you will take over, correct?
Yes, true.
Okay. So this is what Allah wrote. It says here, must commit. Allah has fixed. He has fixed the very portion of adultery. He is the one who fixed it for you. It's not your fix.
Okay, but you know,
which
also
which
there's
you
a
must
verse.
commit. It's not up to you.
Yeah. The same way he can you know, do that for adultery. He can also he can guide you to Islam the same way.
Doesn't
He can.
matter. So okay, so Allah, yeah.
He
So
can do anything.
Allah, okay, hold on. So Allah is the one who made us commit sin, and then Allah will punish us for the sin we did, and He forced us to do.
Yes, for some people, yes.
That's deep, Ahmed. Ahmed.
Because God guides who He wishes, and He also misguides who He wishes. That's just the way it is.
He misguide.
Uh-huh.
So what shaitan he do for a living?
No, it's because
no. If Allah is the one who, if Allah, everybody heard you. If Allah is the one who misguide, what shaitan he do for a living?
He also misguides. What's the issue?
So Allah and shaitan, they are partners.
Nope.
Yes, you just said Allah misguide, shaitan misguide.
Yeah, but doesn't mean if I do the same thing, it's his partners.
So you just said Allah, he do the same thing as shaitan.
He has the ability to.
This is not the question now. I have ability too. I can misguide you too.
Okay, so are you shaitan then?
But no. You see, this is the difference. We are talking about the holy God. It turned to be that the holy God is Satan, because he misguide people in order to make them go to hell. As an example, shaitan, was he a bad person or a good person?
He was definitely a bad person.
The Quran say no. The Quran says that shaitan was misguided by Allah. Is that correct?
Yeah, because it was written in his will.
So now Allah, he decided to make him shaitan, and now we spit at the shaitan, but the one who made him shaitan is Allah. I mean, who is the shaitan then?
He's a creation.
What a creation? Allah, he is the one who misguided him.
Yeah.
Okay, and you say to me that Allah, I mean, if you want to misguide me, can I stop Allah?
No, it's part of the will.
You
It doesn't
cannot.
mean.
Okay, you cannot. So shaitan is a victim. Shaitan is a shaitan. Listen, you just admitted that shaitan is a victim of the biggest shaitan, which is Allah.
That's not true.
No. You are the one who said to me that shaitan misguided by Allah, and now Allah, shaitan. Okay, I asked you, can shaitan? Listen carefully. Can shaitan stop Allah from misguiding him so he can be having free will?
Shaitan can't do anything.
I'm asking you a specific question. Can shaitan stop Allah from misguiding him?
No, he can't. If his free will aligns with it, then no, he's going to be misguided. That's just the way it is.
Okay, take care, Ahmed. Thank you very much for call. We'll take you some other day. Guys, as you see, Allah and shaitan is one person. It turned to be that shaitan in Islam is a victim. He was a victim of the biggest Satan in earth. His name is Allah. So all reference lead us to understand one thing, that Allah is a truly the devil himself. Allah, he is the one who mislead. Actually, in Arabic, it doesn't say mislead only, it says yudil. Yudil is way down more mislead. It's the one who cheat, the one who lie, the one who deceive. This is not just misguide, it's a disgusting. Even the Quran says that the one who Allah deceive cannot be guided. If shaitan deceive you, you can be guided. But if Allah deceive you, he is no way can be guided. Chapter 4, verse number 88 says it clearly that the one who Allah deceive him, no one can guide him. And then you see that Islam is, because it's satanic religion, it is totally the opposite of Christ's teaching. Jesus said, I came for the sick, not for the healthy. Is that correct? I came for the sick. Allah make you sick. Jesus heal you. So do you see how the mission is the opposite? For Allah is Satan, and Jesus is the Holy Lord. If you go in the book of Mark, Jesus, he said to them that a healthy man, he do not need a physician, but they are the one are sick. I came not to call the righteous, but the sinner into repentance. So while Allah is busy making people sick, Jesus is busy healing the one gets sick by Allah. Isn't it that beautiful? Jesus, not only our physical physician, he is our spiritual physician. He is our spiritual doctor who can heal us. That is God. And that is wisdom. In the other book, that is faith. And this is satanic. For God, he loved the world. He sent his only begotten Son, not because he hated the world. He sent his Son to save the world. So when the Mohammedan, they lie and they say they follow the God of Abraham, that is an absolute false. Their God name is different. His ethic is less than -1 billion to 0. While the God of the Jews was forbidding the Jews even from using his name. The God of Islam, he said to them, you can swear using my name lying. A Muslim can swear, do you know? And it's not a sin. Lying. And the excuse is, Allah will take you accountable only by what you mean. So you can lie. You don't mean what you say. I don't mean it. I swear by Allah, I did not do that. In my heart, I don't mean it. Why the Bible forbid us from swearing from what is above in heaven or down in earth? Muhammad, he told them, you can use the name of God in vain. For his God is a fraud, is the devil. All those verses is speaking about that Allah will not take you accountable for a faith and oath you took. But he will take you in the account if what you meant in your heart, not but what you say by your mouth. But isn't it an oath is something you say by your mouth anyway? And if you, look how easy it is. Go and feed some poor, okay? If you do that, just go and feed some poor. You can lie as much as you want. Give 10 sandwiches of falafel. This is how easy this religion is, satanic. Allah will not take you accountable for a lie oath you took, but he will take you in the intention of your heart. And then Muhammad, he says, a man, he can lie to three, to your wife, and the wife lying to her husband. What kind of a family? You see, when a person, he marry a Muslim woman, get ready. She will suck your income. Every day, new lies about new expenses. Why? Because Muslim women, they don't have security. So she try her best. Before she get older, she knew that this idiot is going to dump her in the street. As soon he get rich, as soon he afforded to have a second wife, he will dump her. So what she do, she try her best to keep him poor. One hand, she save money from his bag, she take the money to her family house, and the other hand, she keep him poor, so he cannot marry a new woman. So either way, it's a win-win. So she keep lying non-stop about children expenses, clothing expenses, changing the curtains, changing, etc. We bought this, we bought that, this has happened. And the husband, he have to provide. And then the husband, he can lie to his wife. He go on and marry a second wife. Do you know in Islam, a man should not even, he is not required to tell his first wife that now he have a second wife? There's a stupid Western woman, she married Abdul. And then she went in the internet, and I made a video about it many times before. If somebody have the link, can post it. She asked the sheikh, my husband, he is from Jordan. He went vacation many times, and he was telling me he is going there to visit his parents because they are sick. And later I discovered that he have another wife there. Is that okay for a Muslim man to lie? The sheikh, he answered her, said, first, why you are asking him? You don't have the right to ask if he have second wife or not. Secondly, he is having the right to marry second wife. Number three, yes, he is allowed to lie to you. And you can imagine how this stupid woman she felt. She thought Islam is a religion. It turned to be a fraud. And let me show you the reference so people will not say we are making things up. You know them. We show it in the screen and still they say, guys, I just found a website. It says the law, or let us say the lawful way to lie to your wife. Let us see. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm trying to find something in English. I find now in Arabic. Yeah, let us see this one first. So the Muslim will not say we are making things up. The Prophet, he gave license for lying. And they are legitimate, brother. And they make sense. They make sense, as usual, you know. Let us see. What a stupid religion. Oh boy. We're trying to find it in Arabic, in English, sorry. This is one of them. Let us use this one. I did not hear Messenger of Allah making a conclusion for anything people say falsely except in three matters. The Messenger of Allah would say, I did not count any as a liar, a man who put things right between people, saying words by which he intended only putting things right. Have you ever heard somebody lying to make things right? Since when? And the man who say things, something in war, okay, I can let this one go. I mean, you will not tell the enemy the secret of your people, you know, they will kill them all. And the man who says something to his wife, and by the way, this is a lie. It's about, remember, it's about lying. So the man lying to his wife and the wife lying to her husband. And imagine if the family established that the man lying to his wife and the wife lying to her husband, what kind of a family we have? The family is the first cell of the society. If the first cell of the society is based on lying, the wife, she is lying, it's okay. It's halal. The Prophet don't consider you a liar. The man lying to his wife, it's halal. The Prophet does not consider you as a liar. That is not considered to be a lie. And then the Muslim, they start to fix it. They say, okay, your wife, she is ugly and she is not good looking. And she said, honey, how I look like? What the heck? If she is ugly, why he married her then? If you see her ugly. I mean, do you see even the excuse? So, Islamic family is a lying family. So, and you can imagine then the children's, they see the mother lying to the father lying to the mother, and what the children will be? Abdul. And that's why when they call us, they never stop lying. And you know, if I can lie to my friends, and I can lie to my wife, and my wife can lie to me, and I can lie to my enemy, who is left? If there's any option? And Allah will not take me accountable for my false oath. A Muslim woman in the Middle East, every few months, she need to change the couches. She put cigarette on them. She burned the curtain. She blamed the kids for it. They split soup in the carpet, just to make the man exhausted, so he will not be able to save money. Therefore, he will not get a new wife. Each time she want to have sex with him, she asks him to buy her a ring, a bracelet. Look at my cousin. Did you see what she have? So now the guy, in order to get the panty down, he have to spend some money. This is Islam. You see, the people do not know what Islam is about. People, they see people wearing white clothing, the women wearing hijab, But you go inside the society, you will see how corrupt this religion is. I remember when I was a kid, you know, there's a Muslim kid, he come to my house, I go to his house. And once in his house, he said the F word to his brother, to his mom. I said, well, you stupid, how you say that to your mom? He said, she's not my mom. They hate each other. Each kid is from different mother, and the mother, they teach the children that the children of that woman, they are your enemies. Tomorrow they will take the money of your dad. And each woman, she will try to convince the father to give her sons his money. Do you see how ugly the multi-wife business? Now there's no family. Each chicken, she's trying to get as much as she can to her chick. And they fight each other, and they curse each other, and they beat each other. And actually, we find even those things happen in the time of Muhammad, the wives of Muhammad fighting. No, a sibling from different mothers, no, they cannot. But if you have a child in Islam, which is a child from adultery, you can have sex with your daughter as long as she is not daughter from marriage. This is why the Quran says, وَجَعَلْنَاهُ نَسَبًا وَصِهْرًا. You open Al-Qurtubi and you will find the interpretation, and you will see it says, it's not forbidden for the man to have sex with his daughter from adultery and the mother of his daughter. And not only that, it says there that based on this, a man even can have sex with his mother, his sister, his daughter, his niece, as long as she is not from a legal marriage. You get the point? So your daughter is forbidden for you in Islam if she is your daughter from marriage. But if you go to the bar and you find a woman, you sleep with her, that woman, she gave birth to a baby child from you. Well, still you can have sex with her when she grow up, and you can have sex with the mother, and there's no problem. And if somebody want to say this is a lie, we will open the tafsir immediately. Immediately. This is Tafsir al-Qurtubi. And this is a chapter 25, verse number 54. This is the website of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This is official government website. Page number 364. All what you need to do, I will give you the link. You can click at Google Translation. Here it says number 2. You can start reading from here. And actually what make it even more stupid and disgusting, here it says, the scholars disagree about a man ifing his daughter. You see, the Muslim, they lie and they say that the word nikah means marriage. This is not marriage. This is ifing. نكاح الرجل ابنته من زنا أو أخته أو بنت ابنه من زنا. So the scholars disagree about if it's okay or not to if your daughter from adultery and your sister from adultery and the niece or the daughter of his son. Can you believe it? The Muslims are not sure. Many of them, and actually here it says the majority of the Muslims agree that this is legal. You can have them all. Let us use Google Translation so you can see by your own eyes. It's not forbidden. It's not forbidden because this is not coming from legal marriage. So it's not forbidden to if the daughter and the mother. And then here they say, the fuqaha is the big scholars. They differ about man ifing his daughter, not marrying, from adultery, or his sister, or his son daughter from adultery. I mean, guys, can you believe that how filthy this religion is? How in the world those people, they come to an agreement about such a thing? Here it says, according to the most correct opinion, you can if your daughter, if she is coming not from a legal marriage. So it's not forbidden to do fornication with the girl and the mother of the girl. And the girl is your daughter. And then they go farther, saying to you that the scholars, they differ about more details. Can you if your sister from adultery? The majority, they said yes. Can you if the daughter of your son from adultery? Yes, like your son, he goes sleep around. And now he have a daughter, and you are the grandfather. You can if her. And then they say to you, Islam is not a satanic cult. Let me post the link for you, so you can save it, even though it is in Arabic. You can use Prophet Google, peace be upon him, to spank Muhammad and show everybody how filthy this cult is. Do you see it? Why in the world even they differ about it? Isn't it obvious that I should not sleep with my daughter? And then you will see Ahmed dad saying, the Bible says that the daughter of Lot, they slept with their father, but this is not God told them to go sleep with their father. This is what they did. And they did because they want to have babies. They thought there's no men left. They were afraid they will die. And God did not approve it. This is what they did. The Bible reporting what people did. Here we have the words of God. And you are the one who is teaching people to go and sleep with their daughter and the daughter of your son and your sister from adultery. So imagine this. You are a son from your father from marriage. Your father, one day, he had a girlfriend. He slept with her, and from that girlfriend, he have a daughter. Muslims believe that they can sleep with their sister. Can you believe it? And then they say to you, Muhammad is Abrahamic. My friend, Muhammad is satanic, and he is high satanic person. He is Lucifer. This is what Lucifer want to do. He want to make you believe that the wrong is right and the right is wrong. So the Muslims, they speak against adultery, but this is the culture, the religion, the belief of adultery. There's no marriage in Islam. Exactly like Ilhan Umar. Ilhan Umar, she married her brother. Just to remind you, if you like to join us in Patreon, you know, YouTube is not sending notification. This is why we don't have a high number of a viewer. Otherwise, the number does not make sense. But most of people never receive notification. So if you like to receive notification, it costs you nothing. Go to Patreon. You do not need to donate. For sure, donation is welcome. But most of you are cheap. You don't do so. Thank you very much. That's not a problem. But if you like to receive notification, so you know when I'm going to be live, you can sign there. It's for free. And you will receive notification to your phone, sent by Patreon. And you will receive an email too from Patreon. So if you care, join us, and I hope that each time we go live, we are teaching you something new, and we are increasing your knowledge, so you can teach your children. Don't take what you learned for yourself. Your child go to school, he meet with Muslims, they will fool him. They are very well trained. Christian kids, they have no idea. Don't wait until they are exposed to diseases. Teach them before it's too late. There's a huge difference between fighting illness before you get it and fighting illness after you get it. So share what you learn with your wife, with your spouse, with your husband, with your daughter, with your son, with your sisters. Don't be selfish. If I am selfish, I will never come here. I know it all. I'm the last one need to learn about this garbage. I'm sick of it. Every day, every day, every day, every day. I have a duty to go and teach the people. But do the people learn? Do the people know? Do the people listen? I hope so. We are here to save generation, not just a few. The deception is big. The media is in their side. The president of your country are supporting their lies. TV stations, they praise them. President, they speak highly of Mohammed. Nobody want to say the truth. So your son, your daughter, your wife, your sister, they will be victim. For the lie is all over the place. If I am a Muslim right now, do you know how big my channel will be? Do you know how big the view will be? Did you ask yourself what's wrong? YouTube support them. Facebook support them. Twitter support them. Even the Chinese TikTok support them. We keep losing channels. For what? We never taught hate. We say the truth. Satan in their side. And what make it more ugly, that many and most of the Christians don't even care. All what they want is just to have barbecue and have some nice dinner and watch a comedy movie and let us go to the beach, and then a day, a year, 2 years, your son will come back and will say, I want to become a Muslim. And then suddenly you remember there's a guy, his name is a Christian Prince. I need to contact him. I need his help. And then you send me an email. And you say, please, my daughter, she met some Muslims and she converted to Islam. Can you please talk to her? Where you been all those years? How come you did not talk to her all those years? What kind of a father you are? Now you remember that you are a father? Parents is not two people, they have sex. Parents is people who take care of their babies. They strengthen their faith. They educate them. They protect them from falsehood, not only from sexual predators and child molesters. Parents is the one who deserve to have a children. But these days there is parents only, the only qualification they have that the woman she have a vagina and the man he have a penis. And the babies come. And the rest is history. And then the kids will be in the street. And the kids will be exposed to drugs. And the kids will be different creature. Why you bring kids to life if you could not take care of them? So my friends, we are Christians, and the Lord, our Lord, is not only, I cannot say the word best, because that would be funny like the Muslim when they say Allah is the best of the creators. The Lord, our Lord, is the only and the only and the only good, for only God is good. and the rest is a lie. When the Messiah, he says, I am the life, I am the resurrection, I am the truth. And yet a stupid, silly person, he come to you and he says, where Jesus says, I'm God, worship me. Each time Jesus says, I am, he is saying, I am Yahweh. That's what I am is. You're ignorant. And we don't worship Jesus because he said, I am God only. We worship him for he do what God does. He is holy. He is a miracle. And he do miracles. Your God is faithful. He did nothing except faith. He sent 2 angels to teach Harry Potter school magic in order to do divorce between the wife and the husband, while Jesus was fighting to establish the family and to make it united, so the man will be united with his wife. Echad. Allah was busy sending 2 angels to the earth to open a school to teach voodoo. If this is what God does, what is left for Satan? The God who want to open a Harry Potter school to teach magic, and the purpose of the school is to make the man and the wife fight, separate, get divorced. What that will do as a benefit for so-called God, Allah. How that help mankind. How that can fix the life of a human being by making a black magic, voodoo, the voodoo God. Not only Islam is full of fictions and stupidity, not only it is not ethical, not only it is disgusting, but it is beyond stupidity. Who in the world want to believe there's God? He sent angels to open a school in the Babylon Tower. And before you join the school, brother, you have to sign a disclaimer that this is only a trial. Disclaimer, disclaimer, don't do this at home. Our Lord is amazing, and by his name we are victorious. The Lord, he says, read the books, look for the truth, and then what will happen? You will find the truth, and the truth will set you free. Each time I remember the sentence and the word of the Lord, the truth will set you free. Unbelievable, how nice, how beautiful this sentence is. While Muhammad is coming to set you to be slave, addicted to sex, addicted to food, his heaven is a place of sperm and sex and effing and legs up and legs down and little boys and brick of gold and brick of silver and diamonds and jewels, temptation of money and sex. God, our Lord, he said, nothing can set you free except the truth. For anything is not a truthful will make you a slave. For you believe in false. And that goes for anything in life. When you believe in the president you think is good, you became a slave of your stupidity, for he turned to be bad. Everything we do, anything we do, if we have no truth in it, we have nothing. And the Lord, he says, I am the truth. So look what will happen with Christ. You will find the truth. The truth will set you free. And that is Jesus. So while Muhammad, he put you in a chain for to be a Satan worshipper, with Jesus you are free. So you choose to be what? In Islam, you are a slave of Allah. In Christianity, you are a child of God. And here you see and you feel the spirit of love which our God, our Father, He brought to us. He don't want slaves. He don't want to have slaves. He called us children. The Quran make it so clear that Allah created mankind. And genie, which is false creature, never exist. Both for one purpose, is to worship Allah. And this is telling you that the purpose and the motivation of such a stupid, filthy God cannot be godly. This God is abusing his creatures. If he is the one who created them, he did not create you for any reason except to worship him. That's it. Evil. He did not create you for love. He did not create you because he loves you. He created you because he is lonely. He want to play with us. He want to abuse us. And then he wrote our destiny. And then he will punish us for committing sin. But if we don't commit sin, he will punish us too. Muhammad, he said, I swear by Allah, if you don't commit sin and repent and ask Allah for forgiveness, Allah will destroy you and bring people who commit sin and ask Allah for forgiveness. Can you believe it? And because I don't like to say something without proofs and reference, let me show it to you on the screen. This God, he want me to commit sin, otherwise he will kill me. If I don't commit sin, what kind of madness this madness is? And this is again proving that this is far away from the God of Abraham. The God of Abraham, he punished Adam for committing sin, not because he did not commit sin. Let us put the hadith on the screen so you can see with your own eyes how this cult, not only it is not Abrahamic, it is a pure satanic. The key to exist, the key to stay alive in Islam is to be a sinner. Do you see it? And this is authentic hadith. They cannot say it is a fabrication. By him in whose hand is my life. If you were not to commit sin, Allah would sweep you out of existence and he would replace you by those people who would commit sin and seek forgiveness. How sick is that? Allah don't want good people. Allah want bad people. Just do bad and beg him for forgiveness. Which means the point of your creation is to beg for forgiveness. This God, he enjoy it. If you don't commit sin, then you will not beg for forgiveness. That is boring. That is not good for him. He wants sinners. And this is totally the opposite of the teaching of Christ. He said, be holy like your Father. Not be sinner. Be holy. Here it says, be filthy. If you don't commit filth, Allah will sweep you out of existence. Muhammad is threatening them that you should commit sin. All what is required is just ask for forgiveness. So now you believe that, okay, it's easy. I commit sin. I say, forgive me, Allah. I have to commit sin, otherwise Allah will be upset. It is my requirement to be staying alive, to be a sinner. This is the garbage of Muhammad. And if all this garbage did not convince you that Islam is satanic, I think nothing can convince you. You must be possessed. You must be a person who is satanic yourself. I want to say thank you for being here. I hope we did learn, we got education, and we had good time. And I pray to the Lord to open the eyes of Muslims. And I pray that the Christians will do their part, teach their family, their children, their neighbors, and they will not be silenced. Because the one who watch a crime, the one who witness a crime, and you don't speak against it, is a criminal. He is a criminal. For he went mute, which means he accepted. So I want to say thank you. This is your brother Christian Prince, was serving you humbly and washing your feet for today. Take care and God bless.
But I mean, again, he doesn't know who Gabriel is, right? Because he didn't come from an Abrahamic faith. The people of Mecca were pagan.
The Quran has mentioned if this book was from other than God, they would have found in it many contradictions.
If a book is without contradictions, that has no bearing on whether it comes from God or not. I've had phone books that are inerrant, but I certainly don't think God gave them.
That we believe without understanding.
The brother asked a very important question, that most of the scholars say that listening to music, watching movies, and most of the television programs, they're haram. So how can we have fun? Let me tell you, brother, at the outset, that having fun is permitted in Islam as long as the fun is halal fun.
That the standard narrative has holes in it.
The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their ears.
I really do think Jesus was crucified and that he really was dead and buried. He thought that he was a son of God in the sense that he was specially chosen by God. I think Jesus really did think he was going to be the Messiah, the future king of Israel. I mean, that is, after all, why they crucified him.